integrated manner. These developments have also had a direct impact on activities of Supreme Audit institutions. As we know, Supreme Audit institutions are the main institutions that serve to ensure public accountability and transparency besides controlling the efficient, economical, and targeted use of public funds. It has set new tasks for more effective implementation of this mission. Digital transformation offers a number of important advantages to Supreme Audit institutions. Real-time data processing, more accurate risk identification, analysis of large databases, and more efficient use of audit resources significantly improve the quality and impact of audit work. At the same time, digital solutions create conditions for the presentation of audit results to the public in a more transparent and accessible form, which plays an important role in strengthening trust in public administration. However, alongside these opportunities, a number of important challenges must also be addressed. Growing cybersecurity risks, concerns regarding data quality and reliability, development of digital skills, determination of ethical and legal frameworks for the use of artificial intelligence are among the key issues on the agenda of Supreme Audit institutions. Furthermore, the rapidly evolving technological environment requires continuous updating of audit methodologies and institutional approaches. It's no coincidence that the Sharm el-Sheikh Declaration, adopted at the 25th Inkasai in Egypt in October 2025, recognized artificial intelligence as an important tool for enhancing the efficiency of public auditing, improving the quality of audit findings, and detecting irregularities. The declaration specially emphasized that AI should be used in a reliable, responsible, ethical, and professional manner. Inkasai members support the importance of implementing a hybrid model that combines the effectiveness of AI with auditors' professional judgment, as well as establishing a governance framework that ensures the responsible and secure use of information and technology. Moreover, the declaration highlights the responsibility of Supreme Audit institutions to audit government's use of AI. For this reason, international cooperation, exchange of experience, and the sharing of innovative solutions have particular importance in this process. The achievements of Supreme Audit institutions of various countries, the challenges they face, and the solutions they apply are a valuable source of experience for all of us on the path to digital transformation. The main objective of today's event is to facilitate the exchange of experiences, discuss the future development directions of state audit in the digital era, and contribute to the more successful adaptation of Supreme Audit institutions to this changing environment. Once again, we warmly welcome each of you, express our sincerest appreciation to the Islamic Development Bank Group for supporting the organization of this event, as well as to distinguished members of Milli Majlis, representatives of ministries, esteemed heads and representatives of Islamic Development Bank, and Supreme Audit institutions, including the size of Turkey, China, Pakistan, the Republic of Korea, Uzbekistan, and the United Arab Emirates. We wish the event every success and hope that our discussions will be more productive and beneficial for all participants. Thank you very much.
Distinguished participants, just a kind information that due to urgent meeting, the representative of the Islamic Development Bank unfortunately is not with us, so we are moving to the first session of our ceremony. Moving forward with our opening ceremony, it's my great pleasure to welcome the speakers of first panel. The first session will be moderated by the head of the State Audit Digitalization and Information Infrastructure Management Department at the Chamber of Accounts, Mr. Vasif Rasulov. Along with him, it's my honor to invite our esteemed panelists to join us on the stage. The board member of the Chamber of Accounts of the Republic of Azerbaijan, auditor, and member of the Forum for Interstate Professional Pronouncements, Mr. Hilal Hüseyinov. Auditor at the Turkish Court of Accounts, Ms. Elif Nur Bilgin. The Director General of the Electronic Data Audit Department of the China National Audit Office, Ms. Yang Li. Project Procurement and Financial Management Manager at the Islamic Development Bank, Mr. Amir Gahani Mir. Mr. Vasif Rasulov, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, welcome to the first session of our event. Today's discussions are dedicated to an important event, to the topic shaping the future of public audit, the application of digital technologies, data analytics, and artificial intelligence in audit activities. These technologies create new opportunities for making audit processes more efficient, transparent, and risk-oriented. At the same time, their implementation also raises issues such as institutional readiness, human resource development, and data security. The main purpose of this session is to promote exchange of experience among member countries, share successful approaches, and contribute to the strengthening cooperation in the field of digital auditing. I am confident that today's exchange of views will be beneficial for us and will support the more innovative, effective development of public audit. First, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Hilal Hüseyinov, member of Chamber of Accounts, auditor, FIIPP member, and CISA certified specialist. Mr. Hilal Hüseyinov, the floor is yours.
Can I have my... Distinguished colleagues and all participants of panel discussion event. Let's agree that today you don't need long-time work experience to witness milestones of digitalization process of the public sector or public auditing. Fortunately, I had opportunity to take active part in major initiatives related to application of information technologies within our institution. So I'd like to share with you experience accumulated and related to digital audit in Supreme Auditing Institution of Azerbaijan. Okay. When I think about sustainable digital infrastructure, these four main domains or pillars are what come to my mind. The first, electronic signature as the mechanism of e-identity. The second, electronic government as coordinative arrangement of e-service delivery based on common digital infrastructure. Then consistent support of initiatives related to the emerging technologies. And last one, information and cybersecurity as measures undertaken both within the standalone entity and at country level. Let me shortly introduce our country's background in this regard. Of course, it all starts with e-signature. After you created all necessary bases and you can authorize documents making them equal to the paper versions, This is where your digital journey really starts. In our country, we made this first step relatively early with approval of the law of electronic signature and electronic document in 2004. Following with the approval of whole set of regulations in 2006 supporting e-signature application technically, which you can see on this slide. Well, in most cases, end users will not know them, but for sure they are very crucial to implement e-signature as a technology. Then when you have e-citizen able to act legally in digital world, then terms comes to the e-government. In this context, approval of state program on the development of communication and information technologies in the Azerbaijan for 2010-12, or shortly e-Azerbaijan, became an announcement of main vector for further development of public services. As part of institutional reforms, Center for the Development of Electronic Government was established in 2018 and its restructure to the Innovation and Digital Development Agency in 2021. These two domains are equally important as previous two. Our government monitors global trends and encourages implementation of new technologies. For example, G-Cloud concept was adopted in 2019 and artificial intelligence strategy in 2025. In addition, information security and cybersecurity strategy was approved in 2023, and institutional reforms in related area resulted in establishment of National Cybersecurity Agency just a couple of weeks ago. Digitalization is a global trend, and as a process, it is very similar in majority of countries. So it's not a big surprise that SCIs would come out with the almost same considerations, which could be systemized as followings. Firstly, as a public sector speeds up its digital transformation, audit practices are evolving in tandem. Secondly, technologies like big data, AI, and digital networks bring both fresh possibilities and new hurdles to auditing. Then digitalization demands that audit place a stronger emphasis on internal controls. In addition, today, an organization's overall success is closely tied to the efficient rollout and management of its information systems. Finally, for regions pursuing sustainable integration, digital auditing is key to ensuring transparent, accountable, and efficient public financial management. So it would be fair to say that, to some extent, these very ideas inform the preparation of our strategic development plan for 2026 and 2030. The strategic development plan of the Chamber of Accounts includes key priorities such as the launch of the public audit information system, scale up big data tools, and implementation of artificial intelligence. Of course, the ultimate goal is to strengthen control over public finances, which is reflected in two strategic goals, which are displayed on this slide. And now I want to come to more closer to topic of our today's meeting, which is our information systems. The Chamber Accounts going through the path to its digital transformation and started from the very first steps and going toward the ambitious plans. For now, most important information systems which are currently actively used by the Chamber Account staff is RIDES, AFIS, and DIES, which stands for the abbreviations in our local language, but meaning of them are this first one is ERP, RIDES, which is corporate governance system created to digitize and automate the internal activities of the chamber. You can see from the screenshot of the homepage of this system that it's like a hub which includes almost main modules and information systems used by the chamber, including files transfers, quality management, notification and task tracking system, monitoring and control dashboard, and etc. The second one is AFIS, which stands for the Audit Management System. I will talk about later, and the Public Audit System, which is DIAS, which is most close to our digital auditing plans. Our audit management was launched in 2018, and for more in-depth will be used in 2019. It covers all the stages of the auditing practice, starting from the general annual planning to the standalone audit plans, and conducting and reporting, of course, and follow-up. Some functions related to follow-up also is reflected in this system. It's used for each step, as I said, and especially for the quality management of audit process. Coming to DIAS, which is Public Audit System, we launched this system very currently at the beginning of this year. Plans were started last year, but we launched it this year from the beginning. It had its first stage, which is collecting reports from our potential auditors. And it has information technological architecture, which covers government cloud infrastructure, cooperates with it, and single sign-on and digital signature. Reports which is collected through this system are different types. The main types of these reports are mentioned here, which is budget execution reports, of budget funds related reports, debtor and creditor liabilities, public procurement related information, and all comes from our potential auditors. It's quite a user-friendly system. The users of this system can use e-cabinet, notification system, very comfortable for use, search archive, report management, and technical supports also arranged by our chamber. Here's some statistics regarding our system. Almost 628 public entities were registered in this system, 17 type of reports, which collected by this system. Currently, 1,082 users is using it. More than 100 criteria is used to analyze all the information which are collected through the reports, and 28 moderators are supporting all the users. For the next stage, we are planning application of artificial intelligence, integration with the state information systems of governmental agencies and other authorities, creation of remote or digital audit capabilities. Expected results: early detection of risk, data-based decision-making, improvement of audit planning, and more efficient use of resources. Considering the increasing dependence on information systems, it's important to pay attention to development of skills on information system auditing. In my opinion, as quality of information and data is crucial for digital audit, yes, audit should be main supporting activity to assure quality of subject matter information. But in general, the progression to digital assurance we're aiming could be described this way. First, from manual to tool-assisted. At this stage, auditors began using standard query languages and standalone audit software to extract match data, primarily focusing on routine tasks like recalculating balances or testing controls. The second, data analytics integration. At this stage, auditors transitioned from using IT tools just to verify specific files to using modern analytics to spot trends and visualize large quantities of data. The third, continuous auditing and mentoring. Here, auditing became automated. Software now connects directly to enterprise ERPs to flag anomalies the moment they occur rather than months later. The first one is cognitive auditing, integrating artificial intelligence and machine learning to predict risk areas and automate the assessment of the unstructured texts, like contracts or emails. This is all quite common direction of the development for the digital auditing as a function within the SAIs. Digital audit is becoming a strategic priority for the ISDP region as it has solid potential to enhance transparency and project efficiency. Discussions highlighting the use of AI and data analytics in public audit among member countries is just first step toward cooperation at larger scale. Information exchange, audit methodologies, cross-border projects, joint audit is just a short list of possible options. Common challenges could drive us to joint solutions. And thank you, that's all from me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hilal, for sharing valuable insight with us. I would like to ask a question about your presentation and additional policies. As it's known, the large volumes of data collected in information system require faster processing and analysis. In this regard, artificial intelligence technologies create new opportunities for data processing and analytics. However, one of the key prerequisites for implementing these technologies is the availability of adequate technical and computing resources. In this context, I would like to ask what support mechanisms are currently in place in our country for the implementation of artificial intelligence projects in public institutions?
Thank you. Question? Well, actually, our government supports this area a lot, as I mentioned in my presentation. Coming exactly to your question, I could say that currently, by the presidential decree, was approved action plan for accelerating digital development. One of the tasks within this plan is supporting the AI initiatives, including the constructing new data centers, which will be supported with the GPU resources and which will be provided to governmental agencies on the basis, let's say, cloud services, or we will see in the nearest future. I know that they are very supportive, and this is one of the examples of such support.
Yes, thank you for your answer. Now we give the floor Ms. Elif Nur Bilgin, auditor of the Turkish Supreme Audit Institution.
Distinguished participants, first of all, I would like to welcome you all. How can I use it? Can you help me? How can I use it? Next slide. Today, I will present the very experience of Turkish Court of Accounts and explain how automated control systems supports our digital auditing process in our institution. So VERA is the abbreviation of Veri Analiz Sistemi in Turkish. Also, it means Data Analysis System in English. So as organizations generate more data, traditional audit approaches have become less effective. Because traditional audits are typically resource incentive, relying on sampling methods, and typically periodic. But with shift towards the data-driven audit models, it provides the foundation for automated control systems and sets the stage for platforms like VERA. So the Turkish Court of Accounts digital audit ecosystem has four fundamental methodologies which are follow and support each other. The first one is Data acquisition and integration layer. So the data collection process from the organizations are very diversified according to the institutional technological capacity. Data from large-scale administrations like ministries, data is obtained directly database to database connections, while a standardized data transfer system is used for local governments and other institutions. The second methodological stage is data processing and standardization. Before being subjected to do analytical processing, raw data undergoes extraction, transformation, and loading process, which is ETL. In this stage, data is purged of errors and transformed into a common analytical language among different data structures in order to create clean data sets. The third stage is central data warehouse and institutional memory. Standardized data is stored in the central data warehouse in the Turkish Court of Accounts. And lastly, last stage is analytics layer and audit implementation. So in the final stage of our methodology, the business intelligence tool, Vera, comes into play. So we just discussed our data governance framework. Now let's focus on its most critical element, which is data quality. So even an advanced platform like Vera, no matter how it's powerful, it cannot produce better results than the data it proceeds. So quality of data, it proceeds. So therefore, our responsibility is not to limit collecting data. We must also ensure data quality and data discipline. So our discipline is built on three fundamental pillars. The first one is structural discipline. So data from audited organizations must be transmitted according to a specific schedule through secure and verified channels and in standard formats. Second one is automated controls. So data undergoes three basic checks before stored in our data warehouse. These are completeness. So are there any missing records, we ask. Consistency. Are the relationship between fields correct? And lastly, accuracy. Are the values within the expected ranges? So these checks run automatically with every data submission. And if there is problematic data, it's filtered out before it reaches the analysis stage. And lastly, of course, accountability. Institutions are responsible for its data accuracy. At this point, I'd like to provide a more detailed overview of the Vera system. So there are two complementary layers. The first layer, upper layer, describes what Vera offers to the auditor, to us. So it's a central audit platform, provides standardized data, includes predefined controls developed from our institutional experience, and offers advanced analytics. The lower layer describes the technical foundation of Vera. So it can handle large data sets with high performance. It is integrated, bringing together multiple data sources. And lastly, it is secure with the strong data governance. So these two layers are closely connected to each other. So in order to provide you a more concrete understanding of our platform, I want to show a picture from it. So this is what appears on the home dashboard when an auditor logs into the system and selects an audited entity and the fiscal year. As you can see, there are headline indicators, visual analytics, and navigation menu. The first row gives an auditor an immediate sense of scale before any detailed work begins, like total budget, revenue, expenditure. Also, there are charts below the indicators. Charts let the auditor see in seconds where the money concentrates or whether there is something looks unusual or not. So now let's examine the static analytics framework, which is one of the Vera's core capabilities. So the logic behind static analytics is very straightforward. The moment an auditor logs into the system, a comprehensive set of analysis results is already waiting for us. There's no need for the auditor to write any queries or enter any parameters. So there are built-in dashboards. These are pre-designed and automatically generated indicators provide auditors with an X-ray of an institution's financial structure from the very first second. Also, there are defined risk indicators. VERA reports risk indicators directly. Abnormal values, unexpected trends, or significant deviations are immediately stand out. Lastly, there are audit templates. So every public entity is structured differently. So the focus areas in municipality audit is, of course, different than the ministry audit. Therefore, customized templates tailored to a specific budget types and classifications are utilized. So this is an example of static analysis framework. This is an organization's personal payments for a given month. As you can see, there are 3 charts. On the left-hand side, the first chart shows the number of staff by job title. We can see the workforce is concentrated in certain titles. The middle charts break down the payment for a single title by payment grade, and the last chart on the right-hand side is the most important one. It plots the net amount received by each individual on the same title and same grade. So, the point of this analysis is deviation detection. People on the same title and grade should be paid roughly the same, but as you can see, 5 points fall outside that band. So, these outliers are the auditor's starting list. The visualization doesn't accuse anyone, but it simply turns thousands of rows of data into a picture where the exceptions are immediately visible. So each one is a record that needs explaining. There might be a real error, but there's a maybe a legitimate reason. So either way, the auditor goes straight to the few cases like this that matter, and instead of randomly sampling the whole population. Thank you for listening. I hope my presentation is beneficial for you.
Ms. Elif, thank you for a very informative presentation. I would like to ask a question about your presentation. In your presentation, the risk scenarios and the risk indicators are introduced as a core component of the digital audit platform. And how these components affect audit planning, risk identification, and overall quality of audit outcomes.
We have too many institutions auditing. Therefore, we need to concentrate on, before starting the auditing, specific areas. Otherwise, it cannot be, we cannot be useful because we are a couple of people then auditing the very big institutions, very big budgets. Therefore, those risk indicators shows us from the very first moment that which areas we should focus. Therefore, we are using our time effectively, and if there is something to we need to aware of, we will definitely see it.
Yeah, so, for example, how's the process of preparation of risk scenarios going on? Is there any, for example, department or person who is responsible for the preparation of new risk scenarios?
No, these scenarios are automatically created by our system. So when we select our auditing institution and the fiscal year, these scenarios automatically runs out. We don't need any other team for that. So this system provide every auditors to see when logs into the system.
For example, are the number of risk scenarios grows by the year and year?
Yes, of course. It's a cumulative process.
Yes. Thank you very much for your clear explanation, Ms. Elif. And our next speaker is Ms. Yang Li, Director General of the Electronic Data Audit Department at the National Audit Office of China. Ms. Young, floor is yours.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon. My name is Yang Li, and I'm from the Department of Electronic Data Audit of National Audit Office of China, referred to as CNAO. Since the year of 2000, CNAO has been steadily promoting the integration of technology, data, and audit business, enhancing the quality and effectiveness of audit work. Today, I'd like to share some of practice and insights in using big data to conduct the audit work. I prepared the presentation, and there are 4 parts in the presentation. Now let's move to the first part. In order to keep up with the times, CNAO consolidates the foundation of IT infrastructure and data resources continuously. And we have successfully built our IT infrastructure to meet the demands of the modern era. Yes. And, from the history of the development, we can see in, so I'll just take the, let's continue. And, in 2002 and 2008, CNAO officially launched the Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Audit Informatization Project, which are well known in Chinese as the Golden Auditing Project. In 2018, we launched the Phase 3 of the project, which focused on the big data for audit. Of the past 2 decades, in terms of computing facility, CNAO built a unified audit cloud platform by using cloud computing technology. The data center now has a storage of 40 petabytes, while in average, each of the 31 provincial audit offices has a petabyte scale storage capacity. We have established the nationwide audit network, including the audit intranet and audit extranet and audit internet. With these networks, the CNAO headquarters, the 30 outposted office, 18 regional audit office, and 10 affiliated entities, and 31 provincial audit office in the country are interconnected. In terms of the information system, the integrated audit management platform put all administrative business into one single online service portal, which includes the fund management, assets management, personnel administration, and official document handling, etc. For audit business, we have made the whole process digitalized during the audit process lifecycle, from project initiation and implementation to reporting and corrective actions follow-up. In terms of legal mandate, the Chinese government issued the opinion on strengthening audit work in 2014, which explicitly requested the audit institution to establish and improve the data collection mechanism, intensify the data concentration, actively apply big data technologies. In 2021, CNAO revised the audit law of the People's Republic of China, granting the audit institution the power to obtain relative data for the purpose of audit. This provides a solid legal foundation for audit institution to implement the big data audit at all levels. In terms of governance and accountability, in 2014, CNAO established the Department of Electronic Data Audit, which is specialized responsible for the collection and application of audit data. CNAO also set up a clean framework, which is the Department of Electronic Data Audit leads the overall coordination with full participation of all auditing departments. CNAO has built and kept improving big data auditing governance mechanisms, including the mechanism for dynamic update of data collection plan, the data standardization, and the data access authorization. Next is part 2. CNAO always strengthens the coordinated organization of technological innovation and enhance the audit workforce capacities. In recent years, intelligent technology has evolved at breathtaking pace. Adhere to the principle of proactive. CNAO has established a coordinated national framework which enable the Provincial Audit Office to deal with the technological problem collaboratively. These efforts have already revealed the huge potential of AI for audit work. In terms of AI-powered data governance, we are developing AI agents to improve the data structure and make the data more user-friendly. For instance, the business registration data is one of the most frequently used data sets in audit work. However, the adjustment to the business registration records are usually stored as unstructured text blocks, which make the direct analysis impossible. To address this issue, we use AI to extract some key details automatically, such as investment date, shareholder's name, and investment option. After that, we convert this data into structured tables. Then auditors could conduct efficient query and correlation analysis. In terms of AI-powered audit operations, we once explored to use emerging AI coding tools and developed an intelligent text analysis application in just 7 days. The application should be used to extract the key data from binding documents, summarize and analyze meeting manuals and business contract. It could also be used to support the audit review and the quality assurance process. Another example is the annual audit project planning research. This is a routinary but a critical task for each audit department of CNAO. We try to use public AI models following working stream of strategy, policies, project, and funds to sort out the government requirement on data resource and digital governance to pinpoint the major IT project that serve as key points for the audit work and collect public policy documents and the negative media reports to extract the critical risk signals. This boosts the efficiency and appreciation of audit planning. Now let's move to part 3. In CNAO, big data analysis is no longer the exclusive task of the electronic data audit department or teams. Today, each auditing department has its own data analysts in their daily work. In recent years, aligned with national strategy priorities, we have actively implemented the big data analysis and added value to our primary duties and main work. When we do the financial revenue and expenditure audit, in order to disclose the financial fraud by the listed companies, we collect and integrated several types of data from business registry, tax authorities, and financial statements, and then conduct a comprehensive review of the listed companies' performance forecast. We focus on some abnormal financial signals, such as the first loss after years of profitability, repeated cycles between profit and loss. Our analysis and has reviewed some cases where the listed company manipulate the financial indicator by making huge impairment provision, particularly on accounts receivable and business reputation, leading to a fall in share price and harm to investor interests. When we do the bidding and the procurement audit, actually the bidding and the procurement audit is a regular operation of all auditing departments in CNAO. By correlating the data from the public resource trading platform, business registry, and the tax authority, auditor can review some abnormal situation, such as the same funding sources for the bid security depository, which should come from different bidders, and tenderers in actual associated to each other. Different tenderers submit their bids with the same IP address and a high similarity among different bidding documents, etc. This data-driven audit have uncovered patterns of bidding and collusion, promoted the compliance and the transparency in procurement activities. Now let's move to part 4. CNL has constructed the fundamental framework of informatization audit systematically, focusing on 6 priority areas, including data resource management, digital government, and the digital economy. This approach not only advances the implementation of Digital China strategy, but also enhances the aggregation of audit data. For instance, last year, the auditors audited the sharing of government data resources and operation of the critical information infrastructure. As a result, the national digitalization was promoted, and more importantly, the system of data sharing for audited institutions were established. which solve some long-standing data collection problem in some sectors. From the practice above, we truly realize that the technological innovation is the key to achieve audit modernization and boost audit productivity. Over the past years, CNO is always under two core principles. Firstly, we are proactive in learning and combine training with some self-improvement to keep up with emerging technology, such as big data and AI. We actively promote the application of new ideas, new technology, and new methods in audit practice, which continuously improve the auditor's capability. Secondly, we remain firmly adhered to our mandate. Based on the mandate of economy oversight, we focus on the authenticity, legality, and efficiency of fiscal and financial operations. Our primary mission is to safeguard the economic order of the country, improve the efficiency of public funds, and promote clean governance, and ensure sound development and national economy and society. It's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yang. I would like a question about a presentation slide which would describe criteria for bidding and procurement audit. You highlighted several specific criteria there, like same funding sources for bid security deposit, same IP address for bid submission, and there is a high similarity of bidding document. How do you evaluate the role of these criteria in automated detection of risk and non-compliance? And also, how far you have access to the required digital data to be ensured to support these criteria?
Very good question. I think actually the bidding and the procurement is very important because it's in almost every department audit. And actually, firstly, we find some abnormal situation. And when we collect data and we find, we used some AI models and to compare the documents. And as a result, and we find some high similarity, and it's some risk in the audit work. And when we get some model and we explored to almost every audit team to implement in their work to check whether they have some similar situation. And actually audit project is included with several teams, even in different provinces. So they can use the same method and to get more influence of the audit findings.
For example, what's the next processes when you detect these criteria? If you detect some procurement processes which you see that these criteria are there, and there, for example, there is a high similarity of procurement documents. What's the next processes after detection of these anomalies?
When we find high similarities, and we'll because it's used with AI models, and we should check and because it gets the influence and gets a signature from the AI models. But as auditors, we should be care whether it's true or not. So, and auditor will check it further.
Then this AI models, AI functionality, which you say, this functionality is a built-in functionality of the year procurement portal. As I write, or you get this data, you are exporting this data from procurement portal, and based on this data, you are checking your criteria. This built-in functionality of procurement portal, or you just using these criteria separately. You know, you exporting data from the procurement portal and checking based on these criteria.
Actually, procurement and audit is just an example. We used it as a method, and it's a basic think way to the auditor. And they can get more auditors to use this kind of methods.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yang. Thank you for a comprehensive answer. And now I would like to invite our next speaker, Ms. Amir Ghani Mer. Ms. Mer, the floor is yours.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good afternoon to you all, distinguished participant, panelists, and distinguished guests. It is really a pleasure to be here after maybe 25 years. I have the opportunity of visiting Azerbaijan again and looking forward to a transformational change the country had, and really grateful to all the people who have made substantial contribution in the development of Azerbaijan. So what I'll be sharing with you today is the experience of Islamic Development Bank in deploying the artificial intelligence into the work that we are doing for project financial management. As you all know, we are witnessing an unprecedented adoption of the AI into the work. It is changing our day-to-day work. It is changing the way we live. And especially in the next 3 years, they are saying most of the repetitive work will be taken over by the AI agent, which can work 24 hours and deliver the work for us, while we can focus on more creative and more objective and more professional work as the audit functions practitioner. I think what I would like to tell you, what are the fundamental reasons this technology transformation has happened. It used to be, we all within past few years, we started with using Google Map to guide our direction where to reach a destination in a most convenient manner. And within few years, we had the car which can drive you to the destination without the driver. And we are having the cars now, which are future driven, which can tell you where to go, where not to go, and what is the best destination for you to go. So it is reached to a stage where it can take the decision, which is cannot be taken by the human, even with the wealth of information AI will utilize to decide. So I think what has changed fundamentally in technology, it's, you see there's a big compute with the data centers, huge, tremendous investment which is going to AI. It will be transformational change in the life of the people. And already the AI is the technology which has most users, in 1 billion users have been reached in just 3-year period, which is not seen in the past in any of the technology in terms of its adoption. So it has huge potential with the cloud computing, the quantum computing, the big data centers we have, and also the more importantly is the wealth of the knowledge. It has connected the global knowledge wherever it was available. You can benefit from it and utilize it for the benefit. So today, in terms of our success story, our journey that we are undertaking, I'd like to share a few thoughts with you. First, we'll see how the Islamic Development Bank has financial management function. We have about $30 billion portfolio, about 400 active projects, which we are implementing across 57 countries. So we'll also share with you why IT technology matters. So we need to be really capitalizing on this huge transformation for the advantages of every way of life, including the audit, the function which we are responsible. And we see how our AI is transforming the financial management, and then ISTB's own experience, the case studies that we implemented based on the best practices of other MDBs. And all the more important factor is the AI has the ability to lead the work and take the decision. But in the audit function, we need to be human-centric. We need to have audit which are defendable, which are presentable, and which we have the evidence to really prove its credibility. And lastly, I'll conclude by saying what are the key way forwards in terms of how to effectively utilizing the AI. For Islamic Development Bank, we have two major fiduciary functions which I am heading is the procurement and the financial management. In terms of financial management of the project, we have two mandates from the institution is to ensure that resources what has been entrusted for the project are used for intended purposes, and we ensure that financial management risks are controlled throughout the project life cycle. So when we prepare the project, we design the financial management arrangement, fund flows, how the fund will flow, and what are the mechanisms, and we ensure during the implementation that these funds are utilized properly and effectively. We also have the development objective. We work with 57 countries. We are using now the auditor, external auditor to do audit for most of the project. Our objective is development. We'll be able to use our Supreme Audit Institution to be our auditors, which are much more knowledgeable, credible, and can provide us very great audit opinions and guide us how this fund could be managed. We are also putting collaboration across member countries. Wherever the countries have good experiences, we have reverse linkages program, South-South cooperation program. We can share the experiences to build the capacity where the need is. And we are also helping in terms of organizing the capacity building program. We are doing the regional workshop. We have did it in Istanbul for English-speaking countries. We did it in Senegal for all French-speaking countries, sharing best knowledge, best practices, and we'll be doing it for MENA region in Saudi Arabia. It was delayed because of the conflict situation within the region. Just to highlight a few points that why the AI and the technology matters. And you see, we have seen the AI from a tool to becoming a predictive intelligence tool which can guide and ensure that the limited capabilities of the human could be done some of the work much better in terms of use of these technology. In terms of the audit, what it is very helpful, it enables us to early identification of the risk and the issues. The challenge we had for 400 projects, we were receiving the annual audit reports on the two times. Some the budget years are ending in June and December. So these are the cycle where we receive 200 audit reports. And we have 5, 6 professionals. They were unable to even read these audit reports and identify the issues. The second is it supports first review level of the audit. So we now very early identify, if you review in time, you know what are the issues and you have opportunity to address these issues during the implementation of the project. And it is also allowing the professional to add high value by looking at the work the AI, artificial intelligence tool does, and what are the key risk area and what are the area which are very repetitive. And these data-driven insights and including the human judgment really will be transforming this audit function. So what are the 4 critical areas we see the AI can transform the financial management? First is, I think, as I mentioned, we are extracting now from all audit reports what are the issues historically we are having for similar project in the similar countries, and also doing some of the analysis. What are the anomalies, risks, inconsistencies in these audit reports? And then we are learning from the different patterns. This AI is giving ability to identify recurring issues, the pattern, even detecting some of the fraudulent documents which are submitting. Because the AI is giving the ability now to prepare the documents which are even look more robust and stronger as compared to the genuine documents. So I think we really need to be mindful in terms of review process, looking at the credibility of these evidence which are provided. And the lastly is predictive risk. If you're doing a new project, you know history of project in the country and what were the audit issues identified in the past. So we'll try to put the mitigation measure not to repeat these risk areas in the next project. So I think just to share with you, I think the ISTB, the AI system, because the audit is very sensitive function. The data is very sensitive. You cannot share it. You cannot rely on the global data for these audit function. You need to have internal system where all the information is integrated. So the AI should rely on the system which are already used within the audit and which has all the information. So within the Islamic Development Bank, we had operation management solution, which manages all the project information. Since the concept, project design, approval, and implementation process, it has the procurement information, financial management information, all audit report, risk matrices. So we also have the e-procurement platform, where all the procurement process is done through electronic platform. We have all the steps of the processes and the clearances what we have provided. We have also e-disbursement platform, where all the disbursement is made through this platform, which enable us to really track down where the disbursements are made. So we developed this financial management platform using the AI, which review and do the audit for all the project at the annual basis, but also at the project completion as the final audit report. So we have the dashboard in terms of monitoring the portfolio performance, but also seeing the audit progress, which of the projects are audited in time, and what are the issues that we are facing in each of these projects. Just to give you a snapshot of, this is the snapshot of the tool what we develop. I think we are lucky enough to have the partnership with all the MDBs. So we work together. We have the technology group, which looks on what are the tools and technology we should adopt for procurement financial management. I think this was the one of the most successful use case, the World Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, now the Islamic Development Bank and ADB is using. In 2003, we initiated this process. We developed a tool which automatically we can upload the financial audit report, management letter into the audit tool. It validates, prepare the FR review automatically through the system. It reviews and give you in the template that we use for institutional purpose review of this audit. And then we have the professional which validates on quality of this reviews, and if there is any inconsistency or there is any missing information that human can detect and add value. And lastly, it generates a system-generated structured audit report which combines AI intelligence and also professional judgment. So this report, when finalized by the human, is cleared for the further processing. So we have AI risk areas, missing information, and also we have the dashboard which indicates what are the areas which have been flagged in each of the audit report, and we can aggregate it at the project level, at the country level. So in addition, we have another technology. The challenge was that we are doing a project where we have contracted consultant, 3-4 contracts, so we can see disbursement directly made to the contractor. Doing audit is very easy. But we are also managing the project where we have to disperse amount for the poverty reduction fund, reaching out to the people, giving the cash transfer, and also for the agriculture input. We make the payment when the delivery is made for the agriculture. So we are relying on the World Bank blockchain fund mechanism, which trace the transaction which is dispatched from the institution until it is reached to the beneficiary. So it tremendously reduced the need for doing the audit. You already had the audit trail within the system, which is credible, which is monitorable, and which has the integrity. So I think everybody knows how powerful the AI would be in the next few years, even going to drive the decision-making process as well in certain cases. But for the audit, we see it is the human-centric audit should be done. AI can provide you a lot of information, but the validation, professional judgment, and ethical use of the AI and the governance framework has to be in place through the human resources, where the professional can really provide the judgment in the supreme interest and in a professional manner. So let me conclude in terms of what should be the way forward. We should go knowing the capabilities, advantage of this system, and seeing some of the technology transformation that can help us to mitigate fraud, corruption, misuse of these resources, and also ensuring that human judgment complemented by the technology should not have the biasness, misinformation, hallucination, and also data privacy, data manipulation, which the AI model could have, and they can also really ensure that we have the strong governance framework in place to mitigate any risk in the use of the AI. So the way forward is, as we all have very limited resources, we cannot try AI in every field and every aspect of the audit work that we are doing. What we have done is to see what are the most successful use case which can be scaled up, which can be replicated. I think this was the one of the case where it has already proven the benefit the technology has brought. So we need to be really strategic, thinking forward, and also investing on the resources which can give you the maximum impact. And the second is the human-in-the-loop governance. On every step of the process, the human intervention should be there, which should be mandatory, which should be ensuring that AI generates a better output, which is traceable, which is defensible, even in the court of law. We should also institutionalize the capacity building. I think right now the technology is there, but we are not able to utilize it properly. We are using it to edit our text documents, summarizing it, but it has much more tremendous potential in terms of delivering better value. So investment is needed in training the human resource, which can make best use of these technology for the advantage of our institutions and the work we are doing. And lastly, integrated digital platform and the collaboration. Unless the data is integrated, information is available, the AI will not be able to give you an output which will be used for the professional purposes and which has the credibility. So I think all this information, collaboration on the procurement, disbursement, financial management, audit system need to be well integrated to get the information. And we are working together in terms of our approach. We are collaborating with stakeholders, we are working with SAIs, MDBs, and also the technology providers. So it is a collaborative effort to make this tool much more workable for all of us in terms of the benefit. It requires collaboration, and we should build on the success of every institution which has adopted technology and have been successful in delivering the better output. So we can learn from each other, we can benefit, we can complement rather than duplicating the same effort with a very limited what we have. I think at the end of the day, the purpose is to build the credibility through the audit. The limited resources what we have, we need to ensure that these are used effectively for the purpose of the benefit of the people these funds were interested. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramesh.
I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the moderator and the distinguished panelists of session 1 for such an insightful and comprehensive discussion. Distinguished participants, moving forward with our agenda, we shall now commence the second session of today's program. The moderation of the second session will be assumed by the consultant at the State Audit Digitalization and Information Infrastructure Management Department of the Chamber of Accounts, Ms. Nermin Jafarova. It is now my pleasure to invite our distinguished panel of speakers to the stage. The Member of the Parliament of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mr. Tahir Mirkishili. Director General of the Department of Auditor General of Pakistan, Mr. Mohammed Usman. Lead Inspector of the Chamber of Accounts of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Mr. Husniddin Khan Jamalov. Senior Researcher of Research Team for Digital Sector Audit at the Audit and Inspection Research Institute of Korea, Mr. Kim Go. Ms. Nermin Jafarova, the floor is yours.
Honored guests, esteemed speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the second session of our panel discussion. The presentations from our first session made it fundamentally clear that technology is no longer just reshaping public audit, it's actively redefining it. Building on those discussions, this session will take us one step further, from digital tools and data analytics to broader question of digital transformation, remote audit system, and the growing role of artificial intelligence in public sector oversight. Against this backdrop, today's session provides an excellent opportunity to learn from diverse experiences and explore opportunities and challenges that accompany the modernization of public audit. With that, let us begin our discussion. I would like to start by exploring broader policy and governance dimensions of digital public audit and its role in strengthening accountability, transparency, and sustainable regional integration. Mr. Tahir Mirkishili, I would be interested to hear your perspective on this topic.
Hörmətli Vüqar müəllim, hörmətli
I would like to greet all of you, dear colleagues.
especially in the integrated frameworks with the Asian Development Bank, which has more than 60 member states. Dear colleagues, we live in an area where data has become the new currency of governance. Yet, across some countries and regional institutions, public expenditure continues to flow through systems that are opaque, fragmented, and resistant to real-time scrutiny. Today, I would like to make a case that digital public audit is not merely a technological upgrade. It's a strategic governance instrument and a foundation pillar of sustainable regional integrations. Allow me to speak to you both as a member of parliament with a legislative responsibility to safeguard accountability, and as an economist who has spent years examining the institutional constraints that often prevent regional cooperation framework from reaching their full potential. Regional integration, whether through trade corridors, cross-border infrastructure, energy connectivity, or social development programs, ultimately depends on trust. And trust, in institutional terms, depends on verifiability. Without verifiability, transparency becomes a slogan. Without transparency, accountability becomes selective. And without accountability, regional integration risks losing public legitimacy. The economic evidence is compelling. According to assessment by international financial institutions, countries with weak public financial management lose significant resources every year due to inefficiencies, procurement irregularities, and ineffective oversight. The challenge becomes even more pronounced at the regional level. When national treasurers, implementing agencies, development banks, and private contractors operate across jurisdictions, the audit chains often continuous fragments. Accountability becomes diffuse, and diffuse accountability, colleagues, is the institutional cousin of impunity. So what would you mean by digital audit? We mean integrated e-procurement system with embedded audit trainers. We mean real-time expenditure, monitoring platforms that provide oversight to institutions with timely access to financial information. We mean the application of artificial intelligence to identify anomalies, detect irregularities, and flag potential risk before they become systemic problems. We mean standardized, machine-readable reporting formats, which has XBRL and open contracting data standards that enable audit institutions in one country to effectively access the compared information generated in others. Dear colleagues, as a Parliament of Azerbaijan, we are going actually to publish some of the laws in the standards of machine-readable formats. maybe it will be usable for you in the future also. So these are not futuristic concepts. They are practical tools already being implemented across many jurisdictions. Instead of discovering problems years after they occur, digital audit systems allow governments to identify risks while projects are still being implemented, when corrective action remains possible and cost-effective. The question for our region is therefore not whether such systems can be built. The question is whether we possess the institutional build them at the scales that we need for. As parliamentarians, we carry a particular responsibility. Supreme audit institutions, parliamentary budget office, anti-corruption agencies, and public oversight bodies can only be as effective as the legal frameworks and digital infrastructure that support them. In this regard, I would like to process 3 legislative priorities, or some of my suggestions. The first, we should establish mandatory interoperability standards. Any regional integration initiative involving joint financing should require participating countries to adopt compatible digital audit architecture. Second, we should advance open fiscal data legislations. Member states should be encouraged, whether they appropriate required, to publish procurement and expenditure information in standardized open data formats. Sunlight remains the best disinfectant. And when that sunlight is digital, machine readable, and accessible, transparency becomes scalable. The third one, we should strengthen regional audit cooperation mechanism. The legal foundations for cooperation among supreme audit institutions should be expanded and modernized. A regional digital audit hub capable of providing shared analytic flows, common risk indicators, and platforms for joint investigations could be significantly improve oversight of cross-border project and regional funds. Dear colleagues, allow me now to put on my economist's hat for a moment because the economist case is equally compelling. Regional infrastructure projects, roads, railways, pipelines, energy grids, or digital corridors are increasingly financed through complex funding structures involving national budget, multilateral development banks, sovereign funds, and private investors. These stakeholders already require high standards of transparency and accountability. The regional digital audit ecosystem would reduce compliance costs, improve project monitoring, lower transaction costs, and reduce the risk premium that investors attach to regional projects. Colleagues, sustainable regional integration is not simply about removing tariffs, harmonizing regulations, or building physical infrastructure. It's about building institutions that citizens trust, investors respect, and future generations can rely upon. Digital public audit forms the connective tissue of that trust architecture. If we embed robust digital audit mechanism now in our legislation, our institutions, and our regional agreements, we will create a model of integration that is not only deeper, but more resilient, more transparent, and more sustainable. Every successful regional integration project ultimately rests on a simple foundation: confidence that public resources are being used effectively, transparently, and for their intended purposes. The choice before us is not whether they embrace digital audit. That transformation is already taking place. The real choice is whether we will shape it collectively through coordinated regional actions or allow fragmentation to undermine the very integration we seek to advance. Let us seize this opportunity to build a regional architecture of accountability that is interconnected as our economies and as ambitious as our shared futures. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Tahir Mirkichili, for those valuable insights. With this broader context in mind, let us move on to practical experiences of Supreme Audit institutions that are implementing digital tools. Joining us on the panel to share Pakistan's experiences, Mr. Mohammed Usman. Mr. Usman, we'd love to hear your insights.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the time constraint, I will be very quick with, and we'll be focusing only on the slides that are more important. This is the introduction of the Auditor General's Department of Pakistan. Why digital public audit matters? Because in brief, the governments are focusing on digital, they're making digital progress in every aspect and leveraging the technology for providing the services to the citizens. So a lot of data is generated, and it's very important that the Supreme Audit institutions keep pace with the changing technology. And there are two aspects to the digital audit process. One is that the Supreme Audit institutions upgrade their own digital audit processes, and the audit processes is processed through by using the technologies. And the other part is that the Supreme Audit institutions need to develop the capacity to audit the governments, which are obviously in many cases they are ahead of the Supreme Audit institutions, and Supreme Audit institutions are playing the catch-up game with the governments. And these are the two implications for the future size. As I said, that we need to be using the digital tools for improving and optimizing our own audit processes, and also at the same time, increasingly complex digital and AI-enabled government systems. We need specific set of skills, and the previous audit skills are becoming redundant. We need to upgrade those. And for the Department of Auditor General, we are focusing on complete transition from paper-based audits to digital audits, and the whole audit management information system has been implemented for end-to-end audit lifecycle automation. And recently, the department has established a Center for Government Data Analytics, where we are centralizing the audit analysis part of the audit process. As I said, we have established a Center for Government Data Analytics, and the challenge is that the ministries and different departments' data is in silos. So bigger challenge is to somehow link to get a proper picture and bigger picture of the government's finances and other implementations. In order to support the data analytics, we have recently issued a data analytics manual so that our auditors at the grassroots level, they are able to use the audit tools, and it covers the whole audit data analytics process from the audit planning to the red flags, and also includes some case studies. This is the ecosystem. As I said, we have an AMIS and then Center for Government Data Analytics, and then we use ClickSense dashboards for strategic audit, monitoring the strategic audit progress, and data access to the government systems through the. So the whole process is up to the Public Accounts Committee. This is an end-to-end audit digitization that we have targeted and have achieved quite a lot of progress in this. This is again the same audit reform process, which includes especially the historical audit data that we are trying to reuse, and audit planning has been standardized through a digital process. And digital working papers, and more importantly, the audit evidence that we have to have. For real, I think I'll skip this slide because of the time constraints. And to the second theme of, I think the member of the parliament, honorable member, already very in detail discussed how the regional integration and audit can be linked together, So I will skip this. Challenges, of course, for the digital public audit, the bigger challenge is the data quality. As I said, the data is not in the format sometimes our auditors desire, or in the, and also the second challenge is the interoperability, because different data sets are in different formats, and sometimes it becomes very challenging to link those data sets and come up with any meaningful insights. Then, of course, the technical resource gaps. We are trying very hard to build the capacity of our auditors to use the latest technology and tools. But as I said, we are playing a catch-up game, and audit department is focusing on building capacities. The future of digital audit, of course, it will be artificial intelligence assisted auditing, and the challenge is how to save the government data from unwanted exposure. I mean, the AI tools are everywhere, but the bigger challenge is what to expose to those AI tools. And then continuous auditing and monitoring, predictive analytics, machine learning. This is an important area for fraud detection. Big data platforms, as I said, we need to have more data so that we could drill across the data sources. And geospatial audit analytics. And of course, if there is more closer digital integration, regional integration, then maybe cross-border audit data exchanges and regional audit innovation hubs. And of course, there can be no doubt that digital public audit is a strategic enabler of regional integration. Partnerships among SIs are essential. Building a trusted digital accountability ecosystem. It can be only possible with more integration and more talks between the SIs. And expanded analytics platforms and continuous professional development. The forums like these, they give us an opportunity to exchange and learn from each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Usman, for that insightful presentation and share Pakistan's experience in advancing digital public audit. Our next presentation will focus on the experience of Supreme Audit Institution of Uzbekistan. Mr. Hosniddin Khan Jamalov, please proceed with your presentation.
Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. I would like to share how the Chamber of Accounts of the Republic of Uzbekistan is modernizing financial oversight through technology. I will give particular attention to one system at the heart of this transformation, our remote audit information system, and to the work we are now doing to strengthen it with AI. So, first of all, let me begin. Sorry, it's not working. So, first of all, let me begin with a brief word about our institution. Thank you. So, the Chamber of Accounts of the Republic of Uzbekistan is a country's supreme body of external state audit and financial control. So the chamber was established in 2002. In 2017, it was defined as a supreme body of external public audit and financial control. And in 2019, a dedicated law on the Chamber of Accounts was adopted. From 2021 onward, we became part of the international audit community, joining InterSci and later ASOSci and ECOSci, and we introduced financial compliance and performance audits, followed by strategic and IT audits in 2024. Alongside this institutional growth, we have pursued a program of digitalization. We developed the State Audit Digital Platform to register and to process audit activities, and we are now building an audit management information system aligned with ISAI standards. But the centerpiece of our digital reform and the main subject of my talk today is a remote audit automated information system launched in 2021. So let's look more closely at the remote audit information system. At its core, the system gives our auditors a real-time access to the databases of state organizations without leaving the office and without waiting for documents to be requested and delivered. It brings the data to auditors continuously. Two numbers capture its scales. First, the system today integrates 259 national databases. Second, on top of this integrated data, we run 75 risk analysis mechanisms in active operation. Each mechanism is designed and to detect a specific type of financial risk automatically. These mechanisms are distributed across the areas we oversee. The largest group, 35 mechanisms, covers public procurement, one of the highest risk areas for public spending. In other words, instead of sampling a handful of transactions during a periodic audit, the system continuously screens entire population of data across the most sensitive areas of public finance. So to make this concrete, let me walk you through one example of how a risk identification mechanisms operates. First, it collects data. Second, it checks the data. Third, it flags the risk. The key point is this: every one of the system's 75 mechanisms follow these same three steps. First, data is collected, then mechanisms checks for risks. This common structure is what allows us to scale our oversight and to add new risk mechanisms over time in a consistent, reliable way. So until now, I have described rule-based risk mechanisms. But the most significant development of recent period is the introduction of AI into the system. To lead this effort, the Chamber of Accounts has established a dedicated AI and digital transformation group. This unit was created specifically to spearhead the integration of AI into our oversight function. It is integral to modernizing financial control through innovative technology and methodologies, and it brings together the auditors who know the substance and the specialists who know the technology. AI now plays a critical role in strengthening our oversight in three key areas. In particular, the first is analyzing conflict of interest. The second is assessing affiliation. The third is evaluating compatibility. Together, these capabilities move us beyond detecting simple rule violations toward understanding relationships and the context, which is exactly where human auditors most need support. So let me show you one of the tools that makes this platform this work reached major milestones last month when the Chamber of Accounts has launched its own artificial intelligence platform, naming the HP AI Audit Assistant. This AI platform is built around the needs of auditors. It aids our auditors by enhancing their capabilities in three respects: in risk analysis, in detection of anomalies, and in informed decision making. It doesn't replace the auditor's judgment. It strengthens it by surfacing what deserves attention and by handling the heavy analytical work. So let me turn now to where we are heading, our roadmap for expanding AI-based risk analysis. We see three main directions. First, the expansions of the HP AI Audit Assistant platform itself. The second, the implementation of 15 new AI-based directions. And the third is broadening of the AI system's core functionalities. Taken together, these directions move us from an audit model that mainly reacts to what has already happened toward one that is proactive and predictive, anticipating risk rather than only documenting it after the fact. So this brings me to perhaps one of the innovative mechanisms, the automatic suspension of risk-based payments. To enhance fiscal responsibility, The Chamber of Accounts has implemented a mechanism that can automatically suspend high-risk payments before they are made. This is a decisive step because it allows us to act in real time to prevent loss rather than merely discover it afterwards. The mechanism operates in close collaboration with the Treasury Committee, and it draws on the wider ecosystem data from state organs, the e-government platform, and our own remote audit system, screened against 8 defined risk areas. The logic is straightforward. When payment is initiated, it is checked against these risk areas. If no risk is detected, the payment is executed without delay. There is no burden on legitimate transaction. But if a risk is confirmed, the payment is automatically suspended and routed for review before any funds leave the Treasury. In this way, financial transactions are thoroughly vetted before approval, reducing the likelihood of fraud and the misallocation of public funds while keeping the system fast for everything that is in order. That brings me to the end of my presentation. We believe that digital transformation and remote audit system are not simply technical upgrades. They represent a new model for public financial control, continuous, data-driven, proactive, increasingly intelligent. I want to thank you for your sincere attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jamalov, for your insightful presentation. We will now turn to experience of the Board of Audit and Inspection of Korea to learn about their digital audit initiatives. Mr. Kim, we welcome your perspective.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Gu Kim, and I'm a senior researcher at the Board of Audit and Inspection of Korea, or BAI by Korea. Thank you for the invitation to the 2026 ISDB Group annual meetings. And today I will be talking about our digital audit initiative, what we built and what we learned. This page shows our talking about first why digital transformation, and then why digital strategy. Our two tools, Baron and Auditor. Baron is the official service of BAI, and Auditor is a pilot of Auditor is the result of a pilot study. And finally, our key takeaways. Let's start. So this page shows you why digital transformation. The growing complexity of the digital age calls for a new paradigm. So we face 4 key challenges. Exponential growth of government data, increasingly complexity, and expansion of e-government services, and limited audit capacity. This is why we start our digital transformation. So here is BAI's response. We built 2 complementary systems covering on the entire audit cycle. First, Baron. Baron for audit data collection and data analysis and data-driven audit insight. And Auditor. Auditor is an AI agent for audit case search and support for risk analysis. Let me explain each one. Part 1, Baron. That means best audit and inspection system for rule-based observation networks. Yes. What is Baron? Baron is a system that collects and analyzes audit data to support audit planning, risk identification, and audit execution. The goal of the Baron government operation becomes increasingly dependent on IT system. And second, stricter data regulations require auditors to establish a secure mechanism accessing audit data. And third, remote auditing requires digital capabilities. So to do this, Baron covers 4 steps: data collection and data analysis, visualization, and adversary service. And Veron support the key services, financial data analysis, project expenditure, sub-series public asset, and administrative data analysis, breeding permit, vehicle record, and citizen record, and spatial data analysis, map overlay, and buffer and radius analysis, and information system comprehensive database schema information for audited entities. And also, auditors can directly access the database schema and conduct in-depth analysis using built-in tools. Information System DB provide full DB schema for all audited agencies with sample data for Veron linked system. And the SQL modeler, it is a visual drag and drop interface for building complex multi-table queries without coding. And the Veron Sheet is Excel-like self-service analytics tool that enable auditors to analyze Veron data directly. In terms of scale, Veron is linked to 35 agencies, 22 sectors, 53 systems, totally 643 data categories available for auditing. This includes national financial, local financial, education, public, etc. Veron also provides an agency-specific dashboard integrating key indicators, operational status, legislation, financial data, administrative information, and audit knowledge in one place. How Veron works in practice? Step 1, identifying audit focus area. Step 2, data provision and IT analysis. And step 3, audit execution, and finally data accumulation. We provide also audit, core audit data analysis and consulting and tailored analytics support for audit team. Here is a real audit case. I will skip this part. Now part 2, Audit Talk. Audit Talk is an audit AI agent. It is a pilot developed by BI's digital audit research team. What is Audit Talk? Audit Talk is an AI-powered audit agent with 2 core explosion modes. First, auto search. Enter a keyword, and then Audit Talk identify high-risk audit area and recommend a search query for related issue, research, and audit cases. And then manual search mode, type /, then select search mode to query directly. Manual search mode support the 6 search mode, /Korea for BAI or audit case, and /USA for USA GAO, and /UK for UK NAO, and /papers for academic papers, /research, and /news for real-time news. Audit Talk is built-in RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, powered by 6 curated knowledge sources. If we by audit report, US GAO report, UK NAO report, and academic report, research report, and real-time news. For research and trend, I use a real-time API provided by Korean online platform. And the result of Audit Talk include an AI-generated analysis and the source citations and the case deep dive Q&A. Citations ensure the AI output is traceable and reliable. And the Audit Talk is accessible via web browser. No special setup needed. The main interface lets you select search mode. And in auto search, AI recommend risk area and queries. And you can any queries for instant result, and click any case for detailed Q&A. Here is a real example of Audit Talk. First, select mode /Korea and type AI audit case, and then Audit Talk return a summary and a list of detailed cases instantly. And click any case for deep dive Q&A. It support relevant load, recommendation, and audit findings are available on demand. So what we learned from Baron, data-driven auditing is now feasible at scale, and cross-database analysis reveals hidden patterns, and it reduces reliance on manual sampling and accelerate evidence collection significantly. And from Baron, AI dramatically shortened pre-audit research, and international precedent improve audit quality. Natural language lowers the technical barrier, and the citations ensure the AI output can be verified and trusted. And the common benefit of faster analysis with better evidence, and enhanced risk identification capability, and more strategic use of auditor expertise, and stronger public accountability outcomes. Through above, Baron brings data analytics, and auditor brings AI intelligence together, smarter public auditing. By Korea is committed to advancing audit quality through digital innovation, ensuring accountability, transparency, and public trust in the digital age. Thank you for your attention.
We extend our profound gratitude to the esteemed speakers of both sessions for sharing their invaluable insights, which have profoundly illuminated the future of artificial intelligence, data analytics, and digital transformation. Thank you very much. It is now my great pleasure to welcome the office in charge, the Vice President for Finance and Chief Financial Officer of the Islamic Development Bank, Mr. Abdul Rabbi Abdos, to the stage for his remarks. Mr. Abdos, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I think let's admit that we are witnessing an emergence, and I would say a torrent, when it comes to the technology, to the AI, to the data analytics. And when you look at the race in terms of evolution of the large language models, for example, one would witness and admit that this is an avalanche that we have to kind of use for the benefit of our institutions, leverage on basically to facilitate things. And one would not be surprised to see that in audit or in risk management or in compliance or financial controls, basically key control functions would be leveraging on this type of technology. Now, of course, the importance of this type of technology is that it can connect the dots. And actually, it can go beyond connecting the dots in the sense that one can even leverage on publicly available data as well as internal data to draw conclusions on important items. I would like really to thank the participants for shedding the light on all these topics, which are really critical and where we kind of see a very fast pace in terms of implementation. I have to confess that also at certain point in time, one would also need to question the building blocks also of the AI technology, and because at the end of the day, these are a certain number of parameters that have been calibrated to achieve a certain objectives, and controls around the AI itself also matter, and I think AI should be maybe used to assess AI. Anyways, that can come maybe at a later stage. So indeed, the discussions today are fully aligned with the wider message of the 2026 annual meeting, that the regional integration is not only about trade, it is also about strong supply chain, better access to finance, more innovations, and more resilience or resilient institutions. From a finance and a risk perspective, digital public audit is not a narrow technical topic. It is a governance lever. It is a confidence artifact and boils down ultimately to the implementation of robust development process. Strong audit and control systems help ensure that public resources, development financing, and cross-border investments are used transparently, efficiently, and for their intended purpose. This matters even more when countries are working together on regional corridors, energy interconnection, logistics networks, climate resilience, and shared digital infrastructure. Of course, in this situation, the interoperability between the different digital platforms really matter. The Islamic Development Bank new strategy reinforces this logic. The group's 10-year strategic framework, 2026 to 2035, positions the Islamic Development Bank to support nationally driven solutions at the country level, promote trade, cooperation, and connectivity at the OIC level, and provide intellectual leadership globally within also within the 5-year corporate strategy. One of the central building blocks is a shared data and operating backbone to enhance interoperability, strengthen analytics, and enable coordinated delivery. The strategy also calls for common data standards, strong governance, selective data pooling, and prioritize AI, prudent AI and analytics use cases. Because the digital transformation, as I did mention before, it is an avalanche, it is a torrent that we have to make use for the benefit of our institutions. Really, I would like to thank all the participants, and there was a lot of learning today, exchange of experience, and thank you so much.
Mr. Abdos, deep thanks for the valuable speech and remark. Now, in conclusion, this special session organized within the framework of the Islamic Development Bank annual meetings has successfully drawn to a close. To officially conclude our proceedings and deliver the closing remarks, I now have the distinct honor of returning the floor to the Deputy Chairman of the Chamber of Accounts of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mr. Nasir Sadigov. Mr. Sadigov, the floor is yours.
Dear participants, we have come to the end of our event dedicated on the digital public audit for sustainable regional integration. First of all, on behalf of our organization, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to each of you for your active participation in today's discussions and for sharing your valuable insights and experiences. Throughout this event, we became acquainted with the experiences of Supreme Audit institutions of various countries and had a detailed exchange of views on the initiatives implemented in the field of digital audit, the results achieved, and tasks ahead. The presentations and discussions showed that, despite applying different approaches and being at different stages of development, the challenges we face as Supreme Audit institutions and the main goals we pursue are largely common. At the same time, as highlighted in the presentation delivered by the Islamic Development Bank, the bank's participation in projects is not limited to providing financial resources, but also promotes the application of internationally accepted accountability and management standards in project implementation. The role of digital solutions in increasing the accountability of project participants in the timely identification and mitigation of risks is irreplaceable. We are confident that today's discussions will not be limited to the exchange of ideas, but also lays the foundation for future cooperation initiatives, joint projects, and new partnerships. The experiences and ideas shared here will contribute to more effective operation in the digital transformation process and increasing transparency, accountability, and efficiency in resource management. Once again, we express our deep gratitude to the Islamic Bank Group, the participating delegations, all speakers, moderators, Milli Majlis members, and the heads of state bodies for their support in organizing and implementing this important event. Finally, on behalf of our organization and the chairman of the Chamber of Accounts of the Republic of Azerbaijan, we thank each of you for taking the time to participate in our event, for sharing your rich experience and contributing to the discussions. We wish you success in your future activities. Thank you for your attention.